Okay, so this is my second video on quadratic word problems, okay? So I kind of give you a different problem here, all right? So again, my printer's not working, so I wrote this out, but it's all okay, okay? So read the problem first, and we're going to get into annotating it. So a model rocket is launched from the roof of a building. Its flight path is modeled by h equals -5t squared plus 30t plus 10, where h is the height of the rocket above the ground in meters and t is the time after the launch in seconds. Okay, perfect. So I like to identify, what are we talking about? We're talking about a rocket. Like rockets are those things that, you shoot up into outer space. Astronauts. Okay, a rocket. All right, so we're just kind of getting the concept. Okay. Now, what else is important is the actual equation. These are really the things that you need to pull from this. Those are the most important things. I know there's a lot of words here. Don't let them confuse you too much, okay? Just keep it in context. We're talking about a rocket. We're not talking about a ball or anything like that. We're talking about a rocket and the equation. Okay, so now they haven't asked us anything yet. So let's go ahead into our first question. Okay, what is the rocket's maximum height? So what is the rocket's maximum height? Okay, they want the maximum height. A maximum height is going to be your y value, or in this case, it's the h value. Okay, so let's go ahead and just write our equation back out. So h is going to equal -5t squared plus 30t plus 10. So we know h is the height, t is your time. So we're trying to figure out, what is the height? So in order to find the height, we need to figure out what our t or our time is. And anything that goes with our t or our time is also our x, okay? Because our height is also our y, kind of like over here. Height is y, time is x. So we have to figure out our x first. When you're talking about anything maximum or minimum, you'll always have to find the time, the x first. You'll have to figure out what these are. And then when I see that, I just write my equation. I should already have it memorized. X equals -1 times b over 2 times a. Now, let's figure out what our a, b, and c are. Our a is -5. Our b is 30. Our c is 10. Okay? Now, we're just going to fill this in. So -1 times whatever b is over 2 times whatever a is. So b is 30 and a is -5. Okay? So let's go ahead and calculate it. So -1 times -30 is going to be -30, and 2 times -5 is -10. And -30 divided by -10 is a +3. Okay, great. 3 what? 3 seconds, okay? So we got the seconds part. Now, we need to figure out the height, okay? What's the height? Now that we have the seconds, now that we have the time, we're going to take our original equation, which is h equals -5 times t squared plus 30 times t plus 10, and we're plugging in the t for the time, which is 3 seconds. So h equals -5 times whatever t is squared plus 30 times whatever t is plus 10. Awesome, right? So it was 3 seconds. That was the time. Now we're going to find the height. Plugging in our 3 here. Okay? Calculator. Turn it on. Okay? I'm going to scoot this over here, maybe we'll be able to see this better. -5 times 3 squared plus 30 times 3 plus 10. Check your calculator, make sure it's all there. 30, yep, that's right. 55. So H equals 55. 55 what? 55 meters. Meters is a form of measurement, so that's why we gotta kind of keep things in context, know what we're talking about. 55 meters. So what is the rocket's maximum height? Let's write it as a complete sentence. The maximum height is 55 meters. And that's the answer. Okay, great. Now, second question. How long does it take for the rocket to reach its maximum height? Wow, I think that we've already figured this one out. It's almost, this one is like, how long does it take? How long does it take? How long is time? And we have already figured that out right here. Because you have to figure out the time, and we found out that it takes 3 seconds. We already did the work, and I'll go ahead and just do it again just to kind of make the point that sometimes, questions can look tricky, but the point is how long does it take for it to reach its maximum height? And we know that it's our time, which is our x, and we knew that it was h equals -5 t squared plus 30t plus 10. And we know that we're looking for the time, which is x equals -1 times b over 2 times a. And we knew that our a, b, and c, our a is -5, our b is 30, and our c is 10. And we know that it's -1 times our b is 30, and our a is -5. And we know -1 times 30 is -30 over 2 times -5 is -10, and -30 divided by -10 is 3. So it takes 3 seconds. Okay, I kind of flew through this example because I explained it up here, but I just kind of want to show you that sometimes we may have to do 2 steps in one, and then they might come back and ask you another question, and you may have already done the work. So it's okay, okay? Because we know the time is the x, and we have to find the x first in order to figure out the y, which is the h, the y, okay. All right, number 3. What is the height of the rocket after 5 seconds? Let's just rewrite our problem. H equals -5 times t squared plus 30 times t plus 10. Okay? So we know that this is our, height, and t is our time. T is our time. And they're telling us right here, 5 seconds. Seconds is time. Okay? So t equals 5. So we're just going to plug it right in. So h equals -5 times whatever our t is squared plus 30 times whatever our t is plus 10. And they told us our t is 5. So I'm just going to stick our 5 in the blanks right here and put it into our calculator. Into the calculator. So we have -5 times 5 squared plus 30 times 5 plus 10, and our answer is 35. So h equals 35. So let's write this as a complete sentence. So what is the height? So the rocket is 35 feet high after 5 seconds.